Hints a girl gives. If she's interested in you, most men have no idea. Have you ever looked back at a moment in your life and thought, oh no, she was actually into me, and I didn't even realize it? Maybe it was a coworker who always seemed just a little too happy to see you. Maybe it was a friend who laughed at everything you said, even your bad jokes. Or maybe it was that girl in school, the one who kept looking at you, but you thought she was just being polite. And now, years later, you're replaying it in your head, realizing you missed your chance. That's the thing about life. Sometimes, the signs are right there in front of you, but you're too distracted, too insecure, or too scared to see them. But here's the truth. Women rarely walk up to a man and say, I like you. Instead, they hint. They drop little clues, tiny breadcrumbs that lead straight to their heart, if you're paying attention. And most men, they don't see them. They're either too focused on playing it cool or too wrapped up in their own thoughts. So the girl moves on, finds someone else, and you're left with that heavy feeling in your chest and that mix of regret and what if. In this video, I'm going to show you 6 powerful hints that almost every girl gives when she's interested in a guy. Hints that, once you learn them, you'll never miss again. Hints that could change the way you look at every interaction you have from this day forward. So before we dive in, do yourself a favor. Hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell, because the next time you see these signs in real life, you'll want to be ready. And while you're here, hit the like button, not for me, but for the version of you who's not going to miss his chance ever again. And please, watch until the end. Because by the time we get to sign number 6, you're going to look back at your own life and see moments you never noticed before. Some of them might even make your heart ache a little, but others, they might just give you the courage to make your move on someone who's right in front of you right now. So let's begin. The first sign? It's in her eyes. Sign number 1. She holds eye contact a little too long. Although they claim that eyes reveal a person's soul, a woman's eyes reveal more about her attractiveness than any other facial feature, and she doesn't even have to speak a word. Have you ever been completely absorbed in a discussion to the point that everything else seems to melt away? Complete silence. Isolation is key. Nothing, just her intense gaze fixed on you. Time seems to stand still and there's an electric buzz in the air. Normal eye contact, on the other hand, is the courteous form when one glances, locks eyes briefly and then looks away. Holding that stare for a little longer than normal is a common way for women to show their interest in men. You can't touch it. It's not permanent. However, it may be very effective if you pay close attention. Jake, one of my friends, used to miss this often. While we were enjoying our coffee at a local cafe, the barista, a stunning brunette with a kind smile, couldn't help but stare at him with each passing moment. I wondered whether it was all in my head at first. Still, I beheld it. The additional second, that little pause before she averted her gaze. There was a little smile on her face. Jake was oblivious. His hands were occupied with the screen of his phone. She was chatting with another man behind the counter when I informed him. I could see he was secretly punishing himself as he laughed it off. Holding that kind of eye contact is more than simply a female looking at you. You know, she wants to see how you handle this situation. Meet her eyes confidently or falter as if unprepared. It is the test she wants you to take. Simply because maintaining eye contact, even for an additional second, conveys a sense of intimacy. I'm interested is her way of putting it. I'm quite at ease. What intrigues me about you, and that expression is familiar to everybody who has ever fallen head over heels for another. It's the expression your ex gave you when she discovered she had feelings for you. That's the expression that had your blood pumping, your hands sweating and your mind racing. That expression, which you likely envisioned again and again for days, or even weeks after she departed. What you should do the next time you encounter it is, remain seated for a moment. Keep it, no need to be creepy. A little smile can do the trick and convey the message. I see you too. For the simple reason that the most magical moments occur during those few moments of silence when both of you convey your thoughts and feelings. Most men either don't notice this signal because they're too anxious or they tell themselves it's nothing. However, the reality, no female ever knowingly lets her gaze rest on yours. That's on purpose. And once you get the hang of seeing it, you won't be able to stop. Sign number 2, she finds excuses to touch you. When a lady likes you, Her hands may express her feelings before she says a word, which is one of the most basic ways that people express attraction. The hitch is that she won't say it as it is. I want to touch you. Instead, she'll try to bridge the gap between you with subtle, seemingly harmless gestures and reasons. Perhaps she removes a stain from your shirt with her brush. As she giggles, she may touch your arm gently. Perhaps as you stroll hand in hand, she accidentally runs into you. These moments may seem insignificant at first glance. However, the reality is that they are never really random. These encounters are really messages that are meant to be subtle and unnoticed. Return with me to a memory I will never forget. While celebrating a friend's birthday, I struck up a conversation with a girl called Emily. She abruptly reached out and stroked my sleeve after we had been talking for around 10 minutes. "There's something on your jacket," she said as she delicately brushed it away. When I peered down, I couldn't find anything. Cleaning wasn't that. That was a link. It goes beyond physical contact as well. It's all in her execution. Light, deliberate touches timed exactly, with smiles or leans in closers will indicate interest. Because physical contact is about more than simply attraction, it's also about comfort. This is where it becomes profound. A female who feels comfortable enough to draw near you physically is experiencing an emotion that most males fail to provide, a combination of eagerness and trust. Recall the connections you've had in the past. In the car, do you remember how your ex-girlfriend would sometimes put her hand on your knee? Or how, regardless of whether it was really necessary, Mom would mend your collar just before you stepped out? Those weren't menial tasks. They were her methods of letting you know that she was there. Being near you is pleasant for me. Yes, I am aware that this section may be painful for some of you. Perhaps you can recall the exact moment when those touches ceased, as the gentle tapping evolved into cold, distant gestures. When her accidental brushing transformed into her meticulously avoiding any contact. The beauty of picking up on these cues early on, however, is that you may reply in a manner that further intensifies her want to be around you, by emulating her enthusiasm instead of rushing in with forceful movements. Crank up the pressure a little further if she touches your arm in laughter. Just smile and let the moment pass if she brushes across your shoulder. Little things like these may light a fire that she doesn't want to extinguish, if you're alert enough to recognize them. Sign number 3, she laughs more around you. Laughter has the remarkable ability to bring people together. It's as if barriers crumble, tension dissipates, and two individuals find solace in an environment where everything else recedes into the background. When a female is into you, it will show in her laughter more than when she's around other people. Your joke doesn't have to be perfect for her to laugh. She'll do it with a breathy, prolonged laugh that's almost musical. So what causes this to occur? Because laughing conveys more than simply a sense of humor. It also signifies a sense of ease, connection, and mutual vitality. When a woman is with the guy she likes, her laughter serves as more than simply a response. It's an invitation. A tale awaits you. Some pals and I were hanging out at a local coffee shop a few years ago. Next to me at the table was a young woman called Chloe. I saw her eyeing me earlier even though we weren't really close. She started giggling uncontrollably when I made a little caustic remark. She laughed so hard that her palm went to her lips, her eyes rolled up, and she leaned in my direction as if she wanted to be closer to the joke's originator. I realized then that she wasn't laughing at my words, so much as at the person who spoke them. Allow me to explain, a woman's physique goes through a transformation when she's into you. Laughter becomes louder, more frequent and sincere. Not only does she think the joke humorous, but she is also trying to tell you, it's nice to be around you. Studies on attraction have shown that women utilize laughing as a subconscious indication of desire. So this isn't just my hypothesis. It's similar to her expressing, "You genuinely lift my spirits, and I would like you to be aware of it." Consider your own experience with love. Do you recall those late-night chats when she exclaimed, "Stop, you're making my cheeks hurt from laughing so hard"? Keep in mind how you felt like the center of the universe when you heard her laugh. Perhaps you can also recall the exact moment when the laughter began to subside. The time someone laughed at your jokes but didn't give them a real hearty chuckle. The change became apparent at that moment. For the simple reason that when feelings of connection begin to fade, laughing is among the first things to go. It is important to pay attention to it for that reason. Take note if she seems to be laughing more while you're present. Go with the flow. Create moments that keep the laughs flowing by teasing her back and sharing your own small anecdotes. Because let me tell you something. A woman's laughing conveys more than simply enjoyment. It's a sign of connection. If you can bring a smile on her face, you've given her an experience she'll long for. Sign number 4, she remembers small details about you. Being remembered has a certain enchantment. For the simple things, not the big gestures or the Instagram postings. Those little snippets of your life that the average person would quickly forget. While a female has feelings for you, she pays close attention while you speak. You mentioned such little nuances and she keeps them. Your go-to brew for coffee, the canine by which you were first acquainted. Recall when you expressed your dislike for pineapple topping pizza. She isn't attempting to amass information on you for whatever reason. You have occupied mental space for her. Return with me to an unforgettable occasion. I was chatting with a girl called Emily a long time ago. We were just buddies. We weren't romantically involved. I made a passing comment one night about how, whenever I was bored, I would draw small mountains. Time elapsed. We were quite silent. Then she gave me a notepad as a token of her appreciation one day. Is that the cover? Featured with a mountain pattern. I saw this and thought of you, she remarked with a grin. Let me tell you something. That mountain doodle has never been a major concern in my life. I casually brought it up once, but she kept in mind, out of genuine concern. Many guys fail to see this. No amount of self-promotion will ever be necessary to win over a woman's affections. Every detail is absorbed by her, and her subsequent mention of them is her method of communicating. I listen to you because you are important. Remember your own romantic experiences. Do you remember how she remembered your first date down to the last outfit you wore? For example, when she inquired, "How is your ankle doing?" Remember how you said you twisted it in the gym a few weeks ago? That is not your average everyday discourse. That's a deep personal connection, and I understand that the thought of it still hurts some of you. Just in case someone used to keep meticulous records of your every move. But these days she completely forgets to respond to your messages. That's the harsh reality of attraction. She recalls every detail while it's there. Without it, it's as if you didn't say a word. The bright side, however, is that you've got a spark if she's recalling these memories today. Remember not to take things lightly. Instead of saying, "Oh, cool," whenever she brings up a memory of you, try something more thoughtful. Take note of it, nose up. Show her that you appreciate her hard work. Reason being, these strands constitute the foundation upon which relationships rest. The more you and your partner work on weaving them, the stronger they will get, eventually becoming a bond that can weather any storm. I remember you mentioned this, will be her next statement. Understand that's not a coincidence. It's a hint, a subtle, lovely hint, that she's considering you more often than you know. 5th red flag, she makes an effort to be near you, regardless of the reason. Attraction may be silent at times. When it is present, it speaks. In the subtle, unassuming ways, she always seems to find a way to be in your presence, even when there's no apparent purpose for it. Let that sink in. The planet is home to many individuals. She has plenty of options for where to spend her time, yet she can't help but be around you. Sometimes it's hard to tell. Sometimes it's just her decision to sit next to you in a group situation. Alternatively, she may randomly turn up at the same event you're attending, despite her lack of interest in it previously. Most males fail to see this truth. A lady who likes you will always find a way to be at your side, even if she doesn't say it directly, since being vulnerable is terrifying. Her behavior betrays her true sentiments. Unfortunately, we tend to ignore it. We attribute it to pure coincidence. We rationalize it by saying, "Oh, she's just being friendly." That is all it is at times indeed. Occasionally, however, it takes the shape of a subtle chase. Everyone who has ever regretted missing it knows how important it is, because those coincidences turned out to be opportunities. When you look back on them months later, those chances you didn't seize because you weren't fully engaged. There is actual emotional weight to this. Suppose she's at home, thinking about whether or not to show up to the location where you're expected to be, with the hope that you'll notice she goes in with her heart racing. And if you don't, she acts as if it never had anything to do with you. The moral of the story is that you should pay attention if she continues popping up in your life without giving you any indication why. The fact that she would rather be in your presence than at her own convenience suggests that she finds you attractive. Simply said, being present is no accident. It's up to you. And it's not just chance when someone chooses you again and again. That's intriguing. 6th sign, she discovers delicate methods to touch you. One of the most primal and potent ways to convey meaning is via physical touch. Touch came before words. Subtle, almost imperceptible cues are typically the most telling of a woman's feelings for you. It's always about little subtle changes. It's about the little things that, for some reason, make your heart skip a beat. Perhaps it's a brief brush across your arm as she chuckles at your joke. It might be that she's trying to remove an imaginary object off your shoulder. It might also be her habit of staring at you for an extra second after she hands you anything. A memory from long ago is still quite clear in my mind. As we sat at a coffee shop table with our pals, she extended her arm to give me her phone so I could see a picture. For an instant, as her fingertips met mine, everything seemed to slow down. I could tell it wasn't a coincidence because of the look it gave her. A spark was kindled. Think about it. Most guys don't pay much attention to this indicator, since they think it doesn't imply anything. We rationalize it by saying things like, "Oh, she's just being nice," or "That's just how she is with everyone." But if you look closely, you'll see the difference. Contrast this with amiability in a more relaxed setting. It's delicate, with more purpose, a means of traversing the unseen chasm that separates just acquaintances from something more. Even a little contact may trigger the production of the bonding hormone, or oxytocin, which heightens emotions of intimacy. According to scientific research, that much is clear to her, perhaps subconsciously but without thinking. However, the bittersweet aspect is this: she will notice if you fail to do so. If she ever physically or emotionally reaches out to you and you don't react, she will remember it all. Not always with a reciprocal gesture, but at least with recognition, because she needed to muster up some bravery to close that distance. Think about this. As she begins to tell you a tale, she becomes animated and touches your shoulder in a humorous manner. With a grin on your face, you mentally ignore it. When you discover out she had feelings for you, all those subtle touches you'd previously disregarded resurface like a reel of opportunities lost. Because it's a non-reversible communication, touch is dangerous for her. Therefore, she is likely expecting that you would notice if she is doing it. Is that the takeaway? Observe the touches that are optional, yet make an impact nevertheless. Because in those little moments, she conveys meaning via her silence. Sometimes it may be the most straightforward admission you ever get.